In the 50s and 60s, Bob Pettit led the St. Louis Hawks to 5 straight conference titles and their only world championship. He set new standards, becoming the league's first player to score 20,000 points. Now it's the 90s, and in his 11th season, Dominique Wilkins can become the most prolific scorer in Hawks franchise history. Dubbed the human highlight film, Meek has helped transform the game into a high-tech show of athleticism. He's razzle-dazzled NBA fans with feats of flying through the air with the grace of a soaring hawk, seeking out his prey. The 7-time All-Star still searches for the elusive championship trophy, but tonight belongs to him. And with 30 points, he can supplant Bob Pettit's 28-year-old record as the franchise's all-time leading scorer. But he'll have a challenge from a team that's reached supersonic proportions of its own. Led by Sean Kemp, Seattle has the second-best record in the NBA. But head coach George Karl has his sights set on the top of the Western Conference. 2 Doctors of Dunk are set to battle it out next on TBS. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Atlanta for what could be a truly historic night at the Omni as the Atlanta Hawks play host to the Seattle Supersonics. I'm Pete Van Waren along with Dick Versace. Good matchup tonight, but all eyes will really be on one player, Dominique Wilkins of the Atlanta Hawks, who tonight has a chance to become the all-time Hawks franchise scoring leader, surpassing Bob Pettit, who played the same number of years, oddly enough, as Dominique has played in the league, 11. Here's the big number to look for tonight. Dominique Wilkins needs 30 points to surpass Bob Pettit and become the all-time Hawks franchise scorer. Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Atlanta in all the Hawks history. 2 players, 2 great players from 2 different eras, Dick. How do you possibly compare them?
Well, I called Easy Ed McCauley, the great Celtic and Hawk great, and I said, tell me about these 2 guys. And he said, hey, Bob Pettit was some kind of competitor, fierce guy, first guy to score 20,000 points in the league. He said, well, when it comes to athletic ability, Dominique Wilkins, hands down.
Tough opponent tonight, the Seattle Supersonics. Here's a team that won 47 games last year. They were a very good basketball team last year, but already this year they're one of the 3 most improved teams in the NBA.
Well, there's a lot of things about the Seattle Supersonics that you would like. One, they are 23-1 when they lead at half. That's pretty good. They've only lost 2 games at home. They're 8-3 on the second game of back-to-backs. They've never lost 2 games in a row, and they've never lost 3 games in a row with George Karl. They're an awesome contingent.
So it'll be the Hawks and the Sonics and a Dominique Wilkins countdown, all coming up next right here on TBS.
The Hawks on TBS is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, the only beer with a taste as genuine as
the Omni. Let's take a look first at tonight's Jeep Eagle starting matchups. Once again, Bobby Weiss going with a smaller starting lineup tonight with Kevin Willis in the middle, Pharrell and Wilkins at the forward spot, Snoop Graham joining Mookie Blaylock in the backcourt against the Seattle starting quintet of Michael Cage, McKee, Kemp Pierce, and McMillan. George Karl, in his second year as head coach of Seattle, as Dick told you, he's not in anything longer than a 2-game losing streak in his 2 years with this team. And they're off to a great start this year, 28-13. The Hawks finally got back to the 500 mark with that big win over Philadelphia a couple of nights ago. They're now at 21-21. They've been playing pretty good basketball of late, Dick, winning 9 of their last 13.
I think they have, but I think that the Philadelphia game was a bit of an aberration because I thought Philadelphia just kind of laid down and died for them. You know, they put up 149 points. I believe that this is going to be a wonderful test, and I think we're in for a tremendous basketball game tonight.
There you see the officials, Jess Kersey, Bruce Alexander, and Derek Stafford, and we're just about set to get it underway from the Omni. Second game of a road trip for Seattle. They lost last night in Charlotte, but again, Dick, as you mentioned on the open, they've been a very good team on second nights and back-to-back parts of the schedule.
Well, I think, you know, George Karl has got great esprit de corps on this team. Anytime you look at a team and the heaviest minute player is 34 minutes a game, and they've got 8 guys that average over 21 minutes a game, they're going to have good chemistry on the team because everybody knows that they're involved and everybody knows that they're going to be in the game every night. So I think that's one of the reasons that you can have a team bounce back as quickly as their team does on back-to-backs.
And we are underway. Mookie Blaylock controlling for Atlanta quickly down to Dominique. And the first shot, a 3-point effort. Mookie Blaylock, who did this in the first quarter the other night, picking right up where he left off.
Well, I think he takes cold showers, but just holds his hand up in the water, and it comes out hot.
Mookie had a career 30 against Philadelphia. McKee, nice pass underneath to Sean Kemp, but Kemp couldn't handle it. Scoop Graham, the loose ball, off to Mookie Blaylock. Mookie to Dominique, and there's the first two of the night for Dominique. And a chance for a three-point play.
Well, that was a wonderful pass. Something seems to have happened to this Atlanta Hawk team in the last several games. They seem to show a tremendous willingness to give the ball to each other. They had 43 assists the other night. There you see Mookie Blaylock give 1 assist, and they're headed for many more if they continue with the attitude they have about giving the ball up.
And very quickly in this opening minute of play, Dominique Wilkins has his first 3 points of the night, and the Hawks have opened up a 6-point lead. Nate McMillan in there in place of Gary Payton. Payton had a back problem act up on him in last night's game with Charlotte. He is dressed, but not in the starting lineup. Was unable to take part in the shoot-around this morning. McKee into the paint, dishing off underneath. The Kemp looks like Seattle shares the ball quite well, too.
They certainly do. This team has, as I mentioned, tremendous esprit de corps. They like each other. They proved that when Casey Jones was fired. George Karl came in, turned them around right away. Although when Casey was fired, they were at the 500 mark. But they had a 47-win season that year.
Put back by Dominique. He has 5 quick points in this first quarter. The Hawks back up by 6. Length of the court, 2 easy ones for Sean Kemp, who has all 4 Seattle points.
Well, this team will test your mettle. They've got all kinds of athletic ability, and if you don't get back and get matched up in transition, you're going to be looking at a lot of unmolested layups like you just saw.
Dominique Wilkins from outside. A little strong with that shot. Kevin Willis pulls away the rebound. Now Snoop Graham. Back to Dominique. Dominique going toward the paint. Stuffs home 2 more. He has 7.
I don't think there's any question that Dominique Wilkins is going to try to get to 30 tonight and get this over with.
He wants to do it in front of the home folks. The Hawks play in Miami tomorrow night. Nate McMillan inside to Derek McKee. McKee with a big height advantage on Dwayne Farrell, and McKee has his first 2 of the night. And it's now 4-point Atlanta lead. Wilkins losing it as he spun into the paint, but it wound up in the hands of Kevin Willis, who misses. And the rebound pulled away by big Michael Cage. McMillan, nice move, but Blaylock staying with him. McMillan got around 2 men, Blaylock and Willis. Nate McMillan on the board with his first 2. The Hawks lead down to 2.
Well, Nate McMillan is such a handy player. You know, he was a starter at point guard for the Seattle team for many, many years. Gary Payton took that position, but he's still an integral part of the Seattle Supersonics team.
Yeah, he even started at small forward for the Sonics earlier this year, and they had some injury problems. Oh, no-look pass underneath to Derek McKee. And there's another part of McMillan's value. And we are tied at 10.
Well, that's the thing I'm talking about. Even though the game is tied, that's not a good sign. You look at your team not getting back in transition, not matching up, and giving uncontested layups.
Mookie sends it down low to Kevin Willis. Willis in the traffic, lost it. Dominique recovers. His short jumper off the back rim, no good. Rebound pulled away, Seattle. Cage over to McMillan. Ricky Pierce, who's been quiet so far. And the putback by Sean Kemp, who struck for 6 here in the first quarter, and Seattle has reeled off 8 straight points, a 12-10 lead. Mookie trying to make an almost impossible pass to Dominique. Still Hawks ball.
Dominique Wilkins got an isolation there, blows right by Sean Kemp and finishes with a lot of enthusiasm and says, I think I'll get to 30 tonight.
He has 7 already. Oh, beautiful pass that time. Dominique to Dwayne Farrell, who broke 3 from his man. Farrell on the board with his first 2. And we are tied again at 12. McMillan around that wide pick set by Cage, trying to go to the hole and drawing the foul. Looked like Mookie Blaylock got him.
Well, Dominique tries to make a move here. Watch him. And he just sees that Farrell was open coming off of the back pick by Kevin Willis. And so he said, forget the move. I'm giving my man an easy assist.
Mookie picking up his first, and at the line, Nate McMillan, 7th-year player at a NC State, just a 69% free throw shooter this year for a team that shoots free throws at a 76% clip.
Well, you know, Seattle, when they have Gary Payton in the lineup along with Derek McKee and Nate McMillan, can really turn up the defensive pressure. When they beat Portland in that game that they played them just before they started this road trip, they won 108-86. They did it with Payton denying the ball and McMillan and McKee really putting pressure on the wings.
Hawks down by 1 now, just under 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Dwayne Farrell in the paint, nowhere to go with it. Back outside, Mookie gets inside his man. The shot a little strong. Rebound pulled away by Sean Kemp. Kemp quickly to the front court. What an athlete this young man is. Just 23 years old, in his 4th year in the league. He has 8 quick points in this first quarter, and Seattle leads it by 3. You don't very often see a 6'10", 240-pound player go coast to coast like that, do you?
Well, and he's a charming young man, too. If you've ever talked to him or spent any time with him off the court, he's got a very upbeat personality. He's a big plus for the Seattle team.
Dominique strikes for 2 more. He's hit for 9 in this first quarter. And the Hawks are down by 1. Underneath Sean Kemp. You'll never stop him if you leave him uncovered down there.
You see, anytime a team runs an early offense, that means that they try to do things in transition and they try to get an offensive play, as you'll see here. Well, here you're going to see Sean Kemp going coast to coast, coming down, doing a little hesitation here. How about a little spin move at 6'10", 240? I can do this too. Sean Kemp.
Wednesday night.
War is over.
They thought they were home free. Then it happened. A complete surprise.
Time a team runs its offense in the flow of trying to get down, as you see, Sean Kemp ran a little pick and roll and slipped the screen. When you compound the problem when you don't get back in transition yourself defensively. So you heard me talk at the 10-10 mark about the fact that the Hawks weren't getting back well in transition. That's doubly, I mean, it's a double problem against teams that run early offense like Seattle does.
One change for the Hawks as play resumes. Blair Rasmussen checking in for Dwayne Farrell. John Koncak, by the way, unavailable again tonight. Left rib cage still bruised up. He wasn't able to practice today. Dominique comes up short, trying to get his own rebound. Couldn't. Sean Kemp pulls it away for the Sonics. He has 4 rebounds in his first quarter to go along with a 10-point quarter. Seattle up by 3. We've got 6:40 remaining in the first. Seattle's been looking inside, scoring 16 of their 17 points tonight in the paint. Now they'll try one from out there. McMillan with a miss. Loose ball picked away by Snoop Graham. Back to Dominique, losing it in the paint over to Mookie Blaylock. And the Hawks will run their offense here. Mookie making a move inside.
Oh, great move.
Shot by Mookie
Did a
Blaylock.
shake and bake on Sean Kemp. Finished with a left beat.
He has 5 in the first quarter, and it's back to a 1-point Seattle lead.
Well, Mookie sees he's got Sean Kemp guarding. He says, I got more speed than this guy. I'll blow by him. But look at this finish over the outstretched hands of Sean Kemp and Nate McMillan.
Seattle ball midway through the first quarter. 17-16, Sonics lead it. McMillan, little backdoor pass. McKee couldn't handle it. And the second Seattle turnover gives the ball back to Atlanta. A chance to reclaim the lead here. Mookie, Cage a little late coming out after him, and Mookie hits another open jumper. And he struck for 7 in this first quarter, and the Hawks have the lead back, 18-17. The best shooting I've seen Mookie Blaylock in his career has been the last 2 games.
Well, you know, in the last 3 games, he has 30 assists and 3 turnovers to go along with all this production on a scoreboard. I mean, he has really elevated his game far beyond, I think, even what Pete Babcock thought he would be able to do when they made the trade for Ramil Robinson.
19-18 is our score. Seattle back on top. Snoop Graham operates along the baseline. They're going to have an offensive foul called against Atlanta. It's against Snoop Graham, his first.
Well, actually, that was a pretty nice pass by Mookie. What he did is he threw the ball right past the posted Blair Rasmussen and caught a backdooring Snoop Graham, but he did an offensive foul.
Nate McMillan looking inside. McKee swings it around to Ricky Pierce, who was finally heard from on that last trip down. And Pierce making a move toward the bucket, draws a foul. Blair Rasmussen called for his first. Hawks back in action tomorrow night in Miami. And that one will be on Sports South. Art Ekman and Mike Glenn will have it for you beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time. We're back with you from Atlanta on Saturday night. The Cleveland Cavaliers make a return trip to the Omni, and Dick and I will be along for that one, 7:35. And then go west, young man. We will be gone for a while.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time because I think the Hawks are starting to play well, and they're headed out west when I think they're going to have high levels of confidence, and hopefully they'll be as healthy as they've been in some time. Dominique seems to have gotten over the problems he's had. Blair Rasmussen looks like he's ready to be a steady contributor, along with Dwayne Farrell and Stu Green shaking off minor injuries.
Hawks down by 3. 4:45 left in this first quarter. Blair Rasmussen from outside, a little strong. Rebound comes out deep to Kemp. Kemp gets it down to McKee. John Kemp, 5 rebounds, 10 points in this first quarter. McMillan swings it over to Ricky Pierce. Pierce has been in a little bit of a shooting slump, according to George Karl, but not right now. He has struck for 7 straight points. For the Sonics, it's 24-18.
Well, he had 23 against Charlotte last night, and you never want to put that man on the free throw line because he's about 92%, so he's always got ways to get points on the board.
And we get a foul call against Nate McMillan, his first. Only the second team foul. Dominique will inbounds it for Atlanta. Stacey Augmon, who has missed the last 5 games because of lower back problems, is back in action tonight.
Well, Plastic Man is back. He can get ready for some exciting moves as he stretches that arm out, and it continues to go and stretch and reach the basket.
Dominique Wilkins for the paint. Little fall away shot off the glass. No good. Rebound off the head of Nate McMillan. Picked up by Kevin Willis and put home.
Bobby Weiss told us at the shoot-around this morning that he had a scrimmage yesterday. He did about a 10-minute scrimmage just so Stacey Augmon could play. He said Dominique Wilkins had a couple little nagging little things that were bothering him, but he said, hey, I'm playing anyway.
Just to make sure Stacey got the word right. Pierce losing the ball in the paint, but Nate McMillan has it. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Sean Kemp, 3 left in the shot clock. He'll take the short jumper. Coming up a little short. The rebound pulled away by Mookie Blaylock. Hawks a chance to get back within 2 here. Blair Rasmussen, that top of the circle jumper. He can be deadly from out there. Only shooting 33% for the year, but 45% since coming off the injured list. He's been much more like the Blair Rasmussen of old since overcoming the back injury.
Hey, there he is, Plastic Man. He's back. Why do we call Stacey Augmon Plastic Man? Because he has this reach with the left hand when he makes a penetrating drive. As you know, the old comic book character Plastic Man can stretch any part of his body, any direction. He could even dodge bullets with his body. Let's hope that Stacey Augmon dodges the bullet of injury and can come back and help his teammates, the Atlanta Hawks.
Inside it comes to Kemp, and Kemp takes a spill. And another whistle against Blair Rasmussen, his second.
Well, you see, there's a step around there, but once that move is made, Blair has to come down and try to help out. He should bring his body in, but as soon as he reaches, it's going to be a foul, especially when the offensive player reaches around and tries to use the basket as a wedge between himself and trying to get the ball off the glass.
Almost what you'd call a typical night's work for Sean Kemp last night in a loss to the Charlotte Hornets. He averages 18 points, 11 rebounds a game, right around those numbers against the Hornets last night. A team, by the way, that very much impressed Seattle's coach George Karl. He said, hey, these young Charlotte Hornets are a tough ball club.
Well, I think they're a very underrated 500 basketball team, as are the Atlanta Hawks. They have 2 very fine basketball teams.
Dipsy-do move by Dwayne Farrell for his 4th.
That was a great move.
And the Hawks back to within 1.
See, Seattle's shooting 67% right now, and Atlanta's shooting 53%, and that has a lot to do with those early layups that Atlanta gave up. They're doing a much better job now of forcing Seattle to play 5-on-5.
Ricky Pierce a little wide right with his shot. He can be a very streaky shooter from outside at times. Michael Cage the miss. Rebound pulled away by Adam Keefe, but they turn the ball right back over to Seattle. McMillan across to Kemp. Little touch pass to Ricky Pierce. He blew the inside jumper. And the rebound pulled away by Adam Keefe. Augmon down to Farrell. Farrell trying to drive on Kemp. That's a tough proposition right there. Loose ball picked up by Kemp. Across the midcourt line to McMillan. 2:14 left in this first quarter. Cage again, the outside jumper, not even close, but a whistle and a foul call against Atlanta.
Well, Dwayne Farrell has moved into the starting lineup, and he's playing with a great deal more confidence. Look at this move. Slide all the way across the basket, a la MJ.
The solid granite gray of Wall Street.
Seattle leading Atlanta 25-24. Tonight, all eyes on Dominique Wilkins, who is on the bench right now. He needs 30 points to become the Hawks' leading scorer in franchise history. Now needs 21, as he has scored 9 already in this first quarter tonight. This program authorized under broadcast rights granted by the National Basketball Association and the Atlanta Hawks, and is solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, description, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NBA and the Atlanta Hawks is prohibited. At the line, Michael Cage, 9-year veteran out of San Diego State, one of the all-time great rebounders in this league.
And an Iron Man. He's missed only 2 games over the last 5 years. That's amazing.
And it's also amazing is his free throw percentage for the year, 48%.
Well, I think he has an amazing new hairstyle, too. Do you remember the the other hairstyle he used to have? I used to kind of like it, actually.
And that percentage going down, but the rebound pulled away by Nate McMillan with Henson on him. Under 2 minutes to go now in the first quarter. Hawks trailing by 1. Eddie Johnson's checked in for Seattle. This is a very deep Supersonics team. And Eddie, that familiar catch-and-shoot style of his first 2 of the quarter, 27-24.
Eddie's from Westinghouse High School in Chicago, Illinois. Went to the University of Illinois. He just can put the jump shot down like he used to in high school.
Getting a hand on that ball, Sean Kemp. Out it comes to Johnson. And Johnson running into Henson, no whistle. And the ball goes to Atlanta.
Well, that was a rather strange play. I thought he was trying to pass at the last second. He realized that Steve Henson was in position to take the charge. Now, Eddie, not known for his dribbling ability, gets a little shot to the jaw of Steve Henson, which didn't bother him at all. But there was no one really to pass the ball to.
Now Gary Payton, who didn't practice this morning because of back problems, is in the lineup. That's him guarding Henson now. Comes down low. Kevin Willis has had a quiet first quarter. Outside Farrell. Farrell swinging it to Stacey Ogman.
Fantastic man! He's back! He's back!
First 2 of the game for Stacey Ogman. Hawks back within 1, closing into the 1-minute mark in quarter number 1. Kemp works on Willis. Henson over for the double team. Stacey Ogman the steal, running past Payton for 2 more. And the Hawks have the lead on back-to-back dunks by Stacey Ogman. 28-27 Atlanta. Now Gary Payton is normally the starter at the point for Seattle. Vincent Askew making his move toward the basket. Count the basket, and he drew the foul. Adam Keefe committing his first.
Well, Plastic Man is back. He takes off from well outside the lane line and finishes with that extended, stretching left hand.
And Askew at the line. Trying to complete the 3-point play and give Seattle a 2-point lead. He does that. 30-28 Sonics. Hawks ball with 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Little trapping on Stacey. Gets rid of it to Henson. Henson drives right past Eddie Johnson. The miss first by Henson, then by Kevin Willis. The tip out of bounds, though, by Seattle. And the ball goes back to Atlanta.
Well, I was a little surprised when Steve Henson broke free. There was not much weak side help by the Seattle Supersonics. They all were sort of stunned that he took the ball to the basket, and he just was able to shoot an unmolested layup, then missed it.
Now the Hawks will play for a final shot in this first quarter. Mookie Blaylock checks in, replacing Adam Keefe. So now it's Henson, Willis, Farrell, Blaylock, and Ogman for Atlanta. And the inbounds pass comes to Dwayne Farrell. You see the time left in the quarter.
They ought to flatten it out right now because I think Mookie Blaylock can. There's a double team.
Henson for 3. He's been hitting over 50% of his shots from 3-point territory.
Well, that's 8 out of 11, Pete. He's hit 8 out of his last 11 threes, but no defense there.
The basket does not count. The tip came after the horn sounded. So the 3-point basket by Steve Henson has given the Hawks a lead 31-30 after one quarter.
Well, there's no question that Stacey Augmon is feeling a lot better. The back is healed. He's got the steal. Stretches out. Plastic Man is back. Welcome back, babe.
You bet it's tough.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It's tough medicine. For a cold with a cough, try Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine.
Watch Atlanta's end of the quarter play. Their EOQ. It's going to be a double team right here on Mookie Blaylock. He goes away from it and does a smart thing. He penetrates. That allows him to throw the ball back out to Steve Henson. Steve Henson knocks down the 8th out of the last 11 threes that he's taken. It's nothing but net. But watch, the Hawks are not organized in transition. They allow the Seattle player to come all the way in and shoot. Now watch the tip. You wonder when the tip is no good and how the officials tell? See that light? That's how they know.
Meanwhile, quarter number 2 underway, and Dwayne Farrell gets the first point of quarter number 2 and gives the Hawks a 3-point lead. Farrell now is 6. It's 33-30. It is Johnson, Askew, McKee, Kemp, and Payton out there for Seattle. Willis, Adam Keefe, Steve Henson, Dwayne Farrell, Stacey Augmon for Atlanta. And Benoit Benjamin getting ready to check in now for Seattle. He hasn't had a whole lot of playing time lately. Kevin Willis draws the double. Augmon will take the jumper over Eddie Johnson. Stacey Augmon has come off the bench and gotten hot immediately. He's hit for 6 quick points. And the Hawks now lead by 5, 35-30.
Well, Pete, he's got the whole package tonight. When he hits the outside jump shot, he's got the open court game. He's got the slashing drives. He's got the steals. That's the whole package.
Eddie Johnson couldn't get the jumper to go for him. Adam Keefe, the rebound, gets it off to Henson. Quickly to Dwayne Farrell. Nobody on him. So he squares up and nails the jumper. Dwayne Farrell is hit for 8 points. And the Hawks have opened up the lead. A timeout called here by Seattle with 10:35 remaining in the half.
Watch Steve Henson getting the ball, penetrating, giving it up early. Very unselfish. Look at this jump shot. That's a warm-up jump shot by Dwayne Farrell.
Back to back.
We are early in the second quarter. Atlanta leading at 37-30 right after our game tonight. Clint Eastwood stars as a small-town sheriff sent to New York City to find a murderer in Coogan's Bluff. That's following Hawks basketball tonight on TBS. The Hawks up by 7, 37-30. Dominique Wilkins on the bench right now. The Hawks have scored the last 9 points with him taking a breather. Dominique with 9 points while he was in there. Now needs 21 to surpass Bob Pettit as the Hawks' career franchise score. A little trap on Payton. He gets rid of it to Nate McMillan. McMillan driving the lane. Blocked by Stacey Augmon. Loose ball out near midcourt. And a little pushing and shoving going on between Henson, now Payton, and Adam Keefe. And Vincent Askew all in the middle. Kevin Willis stepping in to break it all up.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I think it's wonderful to see Kevin Willis come in there because he had a little man going up against a big man. Comes in and protects his teammate. Doesn't punch anybody. Just says, I'm gonna be the ringmaster here. I'm gonna get this cleaned up.
Now let's show you what brought this all about.
Well, there's a great block right there. Stacey Augmon knocks it out. Henson clearly has the inside track. Askew sees that he can't get to the ball, so he holds him back. See, watch him. He's going to hold him back right here. So the two of them are fighting for it. Now Henson gets knocked down. He takes a little umbrage with that. Officials step in. Looks like it's getting a little bit nasty. We need some size. We need some strength in here. Come on, where's my teammate? Here comes the enforcer right here. All right, you step over there. You get over there. Hey, you want to take me on? No, all right. Okay, let's settle down. Let's play some ball.
And the official call is a personal foul, first of all, on Askew, and then a technical foul also called on Vincent Askew. And Steve Henson will go to the line to shoot it for Atlanta. He'll shoot the technical.
You know, unfortunately, you know, as I was watching this game unfold, Pete, I get the feeling that Seattle was in some sort of a lethargy. I hope this doesn't wake them out of their lethargy because Atlanta was playing pretty well. They were giving the ball up. They were getting back better in transition. They were certainly being very unselfish with each other. And I was thinking this could play, you know, to their advantage. But let's see what happens.
Hawks now up by 8. Early in quarter number 2. Willis sets the pick for Henson. He drives around it into the paint, gets the basket, draws the foul. Steve Henson is in for 6 points off the bench for Atlanta tonight. Gary Payton called.
Well, they're
for his
running a
first.
pick and roll here. Kevin Willis gives Steve Henson a nice, easy path to get in the lane. Once he gets in the lane, the difficult thing for a player of Henson's size is to have some kind of ability to finish in there. He showed, I've got it. I got that little bounce around drop prior that will fall.
Another area of the Hawks game that's picked up of late, their free throw shooting. They're only 73% for the year, but 88% for the last 3 games, and 3 for 3 so far tonight. 41-30, Atlanta by 11. Seattle still looking for its first points in the second quarter. 2 minutes have gone by. Underneath, Eddie Johnson. Back outside, Askew. Over to Payton. Payton, the open jumper, comes up short. Rebound pulled away by Atlanta. Nice pass down to Kevin Willis, muscling in for 2. Willis has 4, and the Hawks lead by 13.
Kevin Willis has been more under control in transition than I've seen him in the whole time that he's been in the league. He made sure he could put that dribble down safely and get the ball in the basket.
Stacey Ogman called for the foul. Hawks look like they are trying to duplicate what they have done in each of the last 2 games, and that is put a lot of points on the board in the first half. Remember, they had that 63-point half against the New York Knicks, and then over 70 points in the first half against Philadelphia. Benoit Benjamin inside, got the basket, drew the foul.
Well, Benoit Benjamin, one of the mysteries in this league, all kinds of talent when he was with the LA Clippers, was involved in the huge money trade, and the huge contract that he got with Seattle. George Karl comes in, tries to put an arm around him, not much of a response, has an injury, complicates things. Now, George Karl told us this morning, Pete, that, hey, we could use his shot blocking. Gave him 13 minutes against Charlotte.
Big question is Benoit Benjamin in the best shape?
Yes, I think there was a point of disagreement there. Ben says he's in shape, and George Karl says, no, you're not.
Dwayne Burrell's jumper rolls around and out. Rebound pulled away by Adam Keefe. He's pulled away 5 rebounds and traveled this time.
There's no question that Keefe has to learn that he cannot score in there when there's 2 and 3 people around him, and he's got to get the ball back to the perimeter. Because in many ways what he did is as selfish as some other things that were more obvious, and you'd say, hey, that's a selfish play. He has to throw the ball back to the perimeter.
43-33, Hawks by 10. Askew with Keefe on him. Benoit Benjamin in the paint. Fans were calling for a 3-second violation there, but he finally moved out. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Out it comes to Gary Payton. He'll take it over Henson. Wouldn't go for him. Kevin Willis pulls away the rebound. He has 6 boards in this first half. Off to Henson. Henson having a good half off the bench. Came up short with the effort, but drew the foul as Gary Payton commits his second.
Well, one thing we know about Steve Henson, he's not the biggest player in the league. He's not the strongest player in the league, but he will not back down from any player in the league. He was a decathlon athlete, or a decathlete, I guess it's called, when he was at K-State. He's a competitor that scratched and clawed to stay in this league when he was with Milwaukee. Got cut by Milwaukee, played some CBA. I mean, the guy is a wonderful competitor. He's a son of a coach, and he, I think, in all honesty, Pete, has done as fine a job in backing up Mookie Blaylock as any combination of guards that they've had at the point since I've been broadcasting.
Well, he's come off the bench for 9 quick points tonight. And the Hawks lead at 45-33, as you saw during that free throw shooting. Rasmussen and Wilkins checking back into the Atlanta lineup, and this time the call goes against Seattle. Eddie Johnson called for his first.
Well, watch Eddie Johnson. He makes a commitment there. Blair has good position, but he takes a good shot, and I thought that I saw his face kind of scrunched up there because it looked like he could have had some more trouble with his back.
Burrell drawing the double team outside Rasmussen. Rasmussen getting around Benoit Benjamin off the glass. Got the basket. No, they're going to call it an offensive foul. Blair Rasmussen called for his third.
Yeah, but, you know, this is something you don't see Blair Rasmussen do very often. Take the ball to the basket. It was a good aggressive play. Sometimes it's, you know, your player just deserves a pat on the back for doing something aggressive and doing something that's smart.
So with 3 fouls, Rasmussen sits down. Adam Keefe checking back in for Atlanta. 45-33, Hawks leading. It's still over 8 minutes to go in the half. McMillan inside to Benoit Benjamin, who has a height advantage over Adam Keefe, but couldn't get the short jumper to fall. Offensive board, Eddie Johnson going up with a shot, drew the foul. Henson got him. And Eddie Johnson will go to the free throw line for Seattle.
Well, that's a very bad mismatch inside for the Hawks when Adam Keefe has to play Benoit Benjamin. Benoit Benjamin really is a very talented basketball player, and he can score inside, he can shoot over you, he's got the whole package, just doesn't open it up very often.
Mookie Blaylock checking in. Nice hand for Steve Henson as he sits down. Stacey Augmon. And Mookie will be in the backcourt now. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Dick Versace and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Eddie Johnson, 4 points tonight for Seattle, 45-35. And Mookie with Peyton on him. Hawks shooting at a 59% clip in this first half. Dominique, who has 9 points, 21 away from becoming the Hawks' all-time franchise scorer. Make that 19 away. He has 11. 47-35. Hawks by 12. Adam Keefe.
Good hustle.
Good hustle for the loose ball, but he lost it to Peyton. Peyton came up short. He hasn't been able to hit much tonight. Eddie Johnson comes up empty. Another battle for it. Askew traveled. So the Sonics went 0 for 3 on that possession. George Karl a little bit disturbed about that call. You can read his lips or hear him maybe. That's an unbelievable call.
Well, he's a little frustrated because his team got out of the blocks really well. Remember, I was talking about they were shooting 67%. They shot 8 of their first 11, and then they made only 5 of their last 19 shots. And when that happens, coaches have a tendency to get a little frustrated.
Hawks leading it by 12. Dominique almost had the ball stolen off the glass. Wouldn't go. Got it back. Lost it. Drew the foul.
You know, Dominique has the ability, when he shoots the ball, to go back and get his own miss as well as maybe any player that's ever played in this league. It's almost like he's got an extra spring on his, in his legs when he's going after his own miss. He kind of gets mad at himself and then goes and gets it. It's a wonderful quality in a basketball player. A lot of coaches call it nose for the ball.
Well, there's no question about his value to this team. If you can recall how sluggishly the Hawks played when Dominique was out with the broken bone in his hand. Since returning to the lineup, the Hawks have gone 7-4 with Dominique in there, and they enjoy a 47-35 lead here.
And Pete, I think he's an inspirational player by the way he plays. He may not give Newt Rockne speeches before, during, and after the game, but he certainly sets the tone for playing with high energy.
Atlanta by 13. Derek Stafford blows the whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Dominique, his first.
Number 21, Dominique Wilkins, his first personal,
fourth team foul, so the next one will put Atlanta over the limit. Kevin Willis back in, replacing Stacey Augmon, who had some impressive moments in his first game back in the last half dozen. Nate McMillan, Blaylock staying right with him. But somebody didn't stay with Ricky Pierce, and that's not a good idea. He has 9. 48-37, Atlanta by 11. 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Blaylock looks inside to Dominique. Pierce on him now. Dominique spun around Pierce.
Oh, wonderful move. No way Ricky Pierce can guard Dominique by himself. Not when he is inspired as he is tonight.
Kemper, the attempted putback, got fouled, looked like by Kevin Willis. And that will be the call.
Well, Ricky Pierce not noted for his defense. He's pretty much an offensive machine. Takes a little wraparound attempt at the steal. Benoit Benjamin comes over, but Dominique has an answer for that.
So Dominique Wilkins now with 14 points, 16 away from becoming the Hawks' all-time leading scorer. And at the line, Sean Kemp.
Well, you have these two teams, one with a kind of a sterling record, 28-13, the Seattle Supersonics. You have the Atlanta Hawks, a 500 record. Both of them extremely athletic basketball teams. Right now, both of them even in the rebound department.
Sean Kemp, who was only 19 when he came into the NBA, 13 points and 8 rebounds in this first half. Dwayne Farrell back Back outside Mookie. Can he still stay hot from out in three-point land? Not this time. Rebound Dominique Wilkins. The short jumper over Benoit Benjamin. Wide right. Rebound Eddie Johnson. Off to Nate McMillan. Ricky Pierce dishing off to Kemp.
Oh, my.
How do you stop that? I guess the answer is you don't.
He took off from a distance where you thought, oh, that's a two-dribble move, and it was a no-dribble move.
15 points for Kemp, a 9-point lead for Atlanta. Still a lot of time to go in this first half. 5.5 minutes. Mookie Blaylock trying to hook the pass to Adam Keefe. Keefe didn't see it coming. Had the ball stolen away by Sean Kemp. Kemp going for 2 more. And he has now scored 17 and is getting Seattle right back in this game. It's Atlanta by 7. And a timeout's going to be called here by Atlanta.
Well, you want to see what looks like it should be a two-dribble move and then becomes a one-dribble move. Look at the distance from the basket. Big step, but wow, does he eat up some ground. Watch Sean Kemp on this finish.
The Hawks on TBS is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, including the newly redesigned 1993 LS400.
Dominique Wilkins has so far tonight scored 14 points. He now needs 16 to surpass Bob Pettit as the all-time leading scorer in Hawks franchise history. You know, Dick, I grew up in Rochester, New York when the Royals were still playing there in the NBA and had a chance to see Bob Pettit play. We could talk a little more about him as a player as we go along here, too, because he was a remarkable player. He was really one of the first big men to possess a good outside shot in the NBA. Stood about 6'9", an excellent outside shooter, though. That's where he got most of his points, that and offensive rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah, you know, Pete, he was a wonderful rebounder, and he was one of the few people in the league to have a lot of 1,000 rebound seasons. In fact, only 2 players ever had more 1,000 rebound seasons than he did, and those 2 players were Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell.
And you know what? We were looking at those numbers on Russell and Chamberlain and Pettit, and the career number of rebounds that they averaged. Nobody's ever going to catch them in that, because back then teams only shot in the low 40%. Now you've got a lot of teams shooting up around or even over 50%.
Well, all right, for example, in 1954-55, there was not one team in the NBA that shot 40%.
So a lot more rebounds were available back then. A foul call against Seattle. This one against Benoit Benjamin is first.
Foul was double zero. Benoit Benjamin is first personal. Team penalty.
And Seattle over the limit, so Mookie Blaylock will be at the line for the first time. 75% from the free throw line tonight. He has scored 7 on the night.
Well, Mookie Blaylock had 12 assists the other night against Philadelphia, and he led the Hawks to 43 assists, and that's 4 shy of their team record, which was set in 1960 versus New York, and that was 47.
Tonight, Mookie with 9 points and 4 assists in this first half. It's 52-43. Atlanta by 9. McMillan with Blaylock staying right on him. McMillan still able to get around him, but missed the shot. Kevin Willis pulls away his 7th rebound. Rebound passed off to Mookie Blaylock. Now to Dominique Wilkins going in for another one of those human highlight
Took
film
a hard
moves.
hit.
And the film came off the sprocket as he got to the basket.
Well, that was a nice pass by Mookie Blaylock. That's the kind of thing you need to do more of. Penetrate and dish. And Neek comes in and takes the foul, takes a hard hit. He's a man. He's bouncing up and bouncing down. Boom, watch him get hit there. Bang, boom, falls down. I'm okay.
That gives him 15 points.
That's why one of the things,
halfway there,
Pete, that I always say about Dominique Wilkins is you can find some things you don't like about him, but there's an awful lot I like about him.
53-43. Atlanta by 10. A little over 4 minutes remaining. Pierce moving along the baseline was left pretty much uncovered all the way. He now is in double figures with 11. And the lead back to 8, 53-45. Snoop Graham has checked back in as his first 2 of the night. 55-45. Atlanta back up by 10. McMillan looking inside. Finally has to give it off to Ricky Pierce. Pierce driving the lane. The tip and the putback is going to be good. Benoit Benjamin getting credit for the basket. He now has 5 points in this second quarter. It's 55-47. Teams just trading baskets now. Hawks go up by 10. Seattle cuts it to 8. Hawks trying to go back up by 10 again. Kevin Willis on Kemp. And no whistle there. How about this time? Sean Kemp gets his first.
Well, I think this is a pride thing in the case of Kevin Willis. He makes a nice spin move, but it is defensed very well by Sean Kemp. So he comes back and says, I'm going to show you I can get the ball in the basket, and came back with a strong move, got himself on the line. Good second effort.
First trip to the line tonight for Kevin Willis, who over the last 4 games has been averaging 27 points, 16 rebounds, and shooting at a 62% clip. Benjamin sitting down after picking up his second foul.
It isn't just the numbers, Pete, that I think that Kevin Willis is putting up. It's the way he's playing. You know, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I mean, you see less of the bobbled passes. He doesn't try to put French pastry on things. He's not finishing his dunks by hanging on the rim and picking up a tee. He seems to be getting a little more mature in the way he plays and very much within himself.
Willis now at 6 in this game, 57-47. The lead back up to 10. 3:20 remaining in the first half. McKee looks inside. Sean Kemp left all alone. Gets it back. He won't miss this time.
Oh!
He has 19. And the lead back to 8.
You know, I was talking about Dominique's ability to go get his own miss. Sean Kemp showed he's got some super springs in his legs.
Under 3 minutes now remaining in the first half. Hawks are going to have another big offensive half for the 3rd game in a row. Wilkins into the paint and walked. Trying to do a little too much that time. He thought he got fouled.
Well, I thought he got fouled, too. There was an awful lot of hand check and go. Watch Sean Kemp here now. Goes up. He has an easy basket, but it lips up, and now he's back up again and gets it. And now, resounding reverse double tomahawk dunk.
Yeah, these big guys, if they miss shots inside open like that, it's normally when they don't slam it home. They try one maybe cute move too many. Eddie Johnson got that one to fall. He's got 6.
He did a marvelous job of schooling Dwayne Farrell. Dwayne Farrell tried to go over the pick. Eddie Johnson just backdoored him.
And it comes to Kevin Willis. And Willis beginning to come alive offensively now. A chance for a 3-point play for Kevin. Well, that was 8 points, 8 rebounds.
That was a wonderful move by Kevin Willis. There's Mookie Blaylock. See how he backed up to create spacing? Now, little drop step, but come up on the other side. Use the basket as a shield.
And Willis completes the 3-point play. Hawks having a pretty good night of it at the free throw line. Atlanta now 11 of 13, or make it 12 of 14 from the line. 2:14 the time left. 60-51 Atlanta by 9. Eddie Johnson, 2 more for him. He has 8, back to a 7-point lead.
This trap that you see is a part and parcel of the George Karl philosophy. He tries to give you different looks.
How about Mookie Blaylock solved that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave him a different look, didn't he?
Hawks back up by 9. Mookie in double figures now at 11. Underneath, Sean Kemp getting the interior pass. And Dwayne Farrell called for the foul, his first. Coming up on our Reebok halftime report, Craig Sager will have scores and highlights from around the NBA tonight. Plus, with Bob Pettit's record apparently close to falling tonight, we'll have a look at the all-time great St. Louis Hawk Bob Pettit. Now resides down in New Orleans, Louisiana. And really kind of wished he could have been here tonight, but some other business is going to keep him away. But he said he intends to get in touch with Dominique if and when the record falls. And it's no question of if, it's just when.
Well, Ed McCauley told me a little story about him. He said that he was a very easy player to get up for a game. All you had to do was tell him, the Garden, New York, tonight. And
that was enough.
That was it. He was ready to play.
28 points and 16 rebounds, guaranteed. Mookie dishing off to Stacey Augmon. Augmon, a little bit too much traffic for him that time, but he retains possession. Tried a little over-the-head pass to Dominique Wilkins, and he fooled Dominique. And the Hawks have turned the ball over 10 times in this first half, but still lead it 62-55, 1:29 left to go in the half. Stolen by Mookie Blaylock, who's one of the top stealers in the NBA, going coast to coast. Put back by Stacy. Hoffman has eight. And Sean Kemp quickly answers on the other end. He has 23 points in this first half and 10 rebounds.
Well, that's up to the small forward or the off guard to cover that. When Stacy goes into the offensive boards, he's got to have the backcourt covered. Either Mookie's got it covered or Dominique, the small forward, has to cover it.
Nate McMillan with the steal, and they're going to call a foul.
Now watch how this play.
Kevin Willis, his third.
Watch how this play evolves here. Mookie gets the steal, makes the penetration. Here comes Stacy, but hey, no one's covering the backcourt. See, there's Dominique. He should have been covered for Stacy. Why should Stacy be deeper defensively when he was the guy that tipped the ball in? And that's what a good small forward will do. He'll read that, and he'll cover the backcourt for his teammate.
Hawks are in the penalty now, so Nate McMillan will go to the free throw line. Kevin Willis picking up his third foul.
Adam Keith checks into the Hawks lineup for Kevin Willis.
Well, it's interesting. George Karl has got Benoit Benjamin on a short string. He plays him, sees what he does. If he likes it, he leaves him in a little bit. If he doesn't, he gets him right out.
64-57. We've got just under 40 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. And a loose ball foul call as they battle for the rebound. They're calling this one on John Kemp, his second.
Well, Dominique was, doing the old hand against elbow like I got hit. And apparently he's correct because he's on the line. This man you hear, Sean Kemp, that you see here, Sean Kemp has gotten better every year he's been in the league. Came out of high school, went right into the NBA's, averaged 6.5 points a game in his first year. His second year went up to 15. Last year he averaged 15.5, and this year 18.4.
And tonight, 23.
With a whole nother half and some change to go.
Add 10 rebounds to that. And he is having maybe the night of his career. 66-59 is our score. And the Hawks are going to get the ball back with a little under 32 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Vincent Askew checks back into the Sonics lineup. He is in for Sean Kemp. So Kemp will sit down with quite a job done in this first half. 23 points, 10 rebounds. Michael Cage in for Eddie Johnson. And Mookie Blaylock will bring it down for Atlanta. That's the time left in the game that you see. Right now, 20 left in the shot clock. Wade Ferrell cans it. A three-pointer for Ferrell puts him in double figures. He has 11, the lead up to 10 now. And Seattle will play for a final shot here. Another good first half. Over the top of the backcourt. Hawks get it back with still a little over 9 seconds remaining.
Well, that was interesting. The Hawks elected to go for a 2-for-1 with, I think, less than 24 seconds left. I think they kind of caught Seattle napping because they didn't expect that they were going to take the 2-for-1 in that situation. So not bad strategy. Pretty good, mix it up on him. He had Dwayne Ferrell had time to measure that three, knocked it down. Ricky Pierce misses the shot coming back, and now they're going to have a chance to get another, maybe 2 or 3 on this trip down.
And it's been a remarkable run these last 3 games for Atlanta. You go back 3 games to Madison Square Garden, the best defensive team in the NBA. Hawks scored 63 in the first half against them, a 72-point first half against the Philadelphia 76ers a couple of nights ago, and now 69 points already in the first half tonight, a 12-point lead over Seattle. The Hawks really seem to like this fast-paced style.
Well, I thought that, if they could get the injuries things worked out, especially the injuries to Dominique Wilkins' feet, and then I thought because if they looked at their strength and said, hey, we're a rebounding team, therefore we can be a running team and we play our athletes, that they might have some sort of an epiphany, and at least at this point it looks like they might.
Dominique back to Mookie Blaylock, going to try to end it with a 3. Comes up short, and there's the horn, ending quarter number 2. But a good first half for Atlanta. The Hawks have opened up a 10-point lead, 69-59 over the Seattle Supersonics. Coming up next, our Reebok halftime report. Let's go back to our studios here in Atlanta and Craig Sager.
Takes it down court. He's going to challenge, which is good. All right, but watch Plastic Man come in there right here. Here's Stacey Ogden. That's the guy that gets the offensive tip in. But now watch when they start to go to the other end. Everyone's sort of celebrating. Now look, hold it. Here's Stacey again. Well, he's not responsible for covering the backcourt. He's the guy that made the basket. Where are all these other guys? Because if you don't get back defensively, this is what you're going to be looking at. Dunks at the other end. Sean Kemp, some first half, 23 points, 10 rebounds.
And a career high for him, it would be 32 points, so he's having a night to remember as well. We're underway, third quarter. McKee, McMillan, Cage, Pierce, Kemp on the court for Seattle. Cage puts it home to get quarter number 3 rolling. His first 2 points of the night. And the Hawks lead it by 8. For Atlanta, it's Farrell, Graham, Willis, Mookie Blaylock, Dominique Wilkins.
See, each trip they look for the trap. Mookie was reading to see if the trap was on.
The open man, Snoop Graham, he hits the jumper. He has 4. And the Hawks have that lead back up to 10. Seattle, when trailing at halftime, only a 5-12 record this year. When leading at halftime, an unbelievable 23-1. They don't let many games get away when they have a halftime lead.
And they're also very, very good at either equaling or outscoring their opponents in the fourth quarter. 29 out of 41 times they've done that.
Good hustle defensively by Dominique Wilkins. Credit him with the steal. Good pass. Snoop Graham. Mookie Blaylock puts it home for his 13th point. A 12-point Atlanta lead.
Well, that's what the Hawks have to do. They can rebound with any team in the league, and they got to get those athletes out there and run. Got to free one down if you see it.
And we get a whistle. Ricky Pierce called for the loose ball.
Good hustle by Dominique. Keeps it alive. Hey, well, nice little bat back. I'll keep it alive. Get it out to the off guard. Snoop Graham. Snoop Graham says, hey, I got a cute little move, too. Mookie on the finish.
And Mookie walks it down now for Atlanta. 63-51, Hawks by 12. 10.5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Willis posted up, has the ball stolen away by McMillan, and they're going to get a foul call against Kevin Willis. And that is 4 now on Kevin Willis. He's in some trouble. And Adam Keefe coming off the bench for Atlanta will have to give Willis a breather.
Well, the ball goes inside to Kevin. He makes a nice little fake, but he spends too much time trying to make his move. Gets the double team, doesn't see Nate McMillan coming down there, steals the ball from him. Then there's a foul, picks up his 4th, and now Bobby Weiss has got some problems.
Adam Keefe didn't do a bad job on the boards coming off the bench in that first half. Pulled down 5 rebounds. And Bobby Weiss not very happy with this call. Dominique Wilkins called for his second.
Oh, no, I can't believe you called that. Let's take a look and let's see. Oh, that's a lot of ball. That's a lot of leather. And that's Dominique Wilkins. Take a longer look. And Nick goes, hey, I can smile about it.
Derek McKee at the line. McKee, one of those players, look at him one night, you think he could be the next superstar in the NBA, and then he'll have one of those disappointing games. Just a very up-and-down career for Derek's. His numbers overall for the year pretty steady. But from game to game, really up and down.
Yeah, and that makes it tough on a coach. They love him. They don't want to trade him.
To play 4 different spots for you out there.
He's a talented player.
73-63. Atlanta by 10 again. Dominique over McKee. Rebound. McKee again attempting to put back. He lost the ball. Dominique got it back. And Dominique drew the foul. He'll go to the free throw line.
I'm going to say this again. Adam Keefe, who can stay in this league because of his rebounding ability alone, has got to learn the things he can do and the things he can't do. He cannot score in traffic against great size and leaping ability, but he's got a good position rebound body, and he goes and gets the ball. So when he does, he's got to get the ball back out to the perimeter like Dennis Rodman. That's what Rodman does. He gets you an extra possession.
Dominique Wilkins now has 19 points, needs 11 to become the all-time leading Hawks franchise scorer. Pete Van Weer and Dick Versace with you from the Omni, where Atlanta has a 75-63 lead over Seattle with 9:44 remaining in the third quarter. Sean Kemp, a 23-point first half, dishing off to McMillan. McMillan got it to fall. He was on the line. That's a two-pointer. 7 points for McMillan, 75-66.
Nate McMillan is trying to keep the ball away from Mookie Blaylock. Tough shot. Tough shot.
And the rebound pulled away by Sean Kemp. Oh, nice pass underneath. And Michael Cage has 2. 4 points now for Cage, and it's an 8-point Atlanta lead. With a little over 9 minutes to go in the third. This is where we were for much of the second quarter. Seattle would cut the Atlanta lead to 8. Hawks would build it back up to 10. Trying to do it again and do. Nice speed from Mookie Blaylock to Dwayne Farrell. He's got 13. 77-67, Atlanta by 10 again. Sean Kemp working on Keith, got around him. Did he step in the line or did he get fouled? He got fouled, I guess. And again, Hawks fans and Bobby Weiss not very happy with the call.
There's Nate McMillan inside to Michael Cage. I mean, not even challenged, not even matched up. And certainly Dwayne Farrell wasn't going to stop an inside move there. Now, hey, tit for tat. Dwayne Farrell says, I can get an open basket, too. A couple of defensive breakdowns by both teams.
Third foul has just been called on Adam Keefe, and now looks like the fourth one's going to be called on him. And now he's in trouble. He came off the bench to give Kevin Willis some time because Willis had picked up his fourth, and now Keefe picks up his fourth, the fourth team foul.
Well, there's no question that Adam Keefe picks up the foul here, but right now, a little bit of a bump there. It could have gone either way, but uh-oh. In front down there, young man. No, sir. You can do that in college at Stanford, but you can't do that in this league. Not if it's Sean Kemp you're fronting. Backside's cleared out. Zone rules.
25 points now for Kemp, is 6 away from his season and career high, 77-69. Back to an 8-point Atlanta lead. Away from the ball, a whistle. McMillan and Wilkins really going at it, and I think they're going to call the foul. They are, and Nate McMillan is third.
Hey, let's watch Wilkins and McMillan go at it. Look at this. This is NBA ball at best, trying to get position, trying to defense, trying to slide up the lane. Oh, I got it. Foul.
And you saw George Karl's reaction right after the whistle. He was not happy about that call. Dominique. Snoop Graham. Farrell got around Kemp. Sends it back outside to Mookie Blaylock. Mookie thinking about the three. Now will try the three. Comes up short. Wilkins had it, lost it. Loose ball picked up Ricky Pierce. Almost stolen from behind by Mookie Blaylock. You could hear Derek McKee holler, watch it, as he got to midcourt. Down low it comes to Pierce. There's the double team. Sends it across to McMillan. McMillan through the paint. Dishing off to Cage. Baseline jumper. Wouldn't go. Rebound. Dominique Wilkins. Hawks on the run. Wilkins. Almost had it stolen away by McKee. Gets it over to Mookie Blaylock. Closing in on the 7-minute mark in this third quarter. 77-69. Here comes Blair Rasmussen in now, replacing Dwayne Farrell.
Yeah, you know, I think Dominique is pressing a little bit there. That last trip down, there was no question that the last thing he wanted to do was pass the ball. I think if he'll just let the shots come to him, you know, he'll get the record easily, and he'll also help his team win this basketball game.
I know Dominique said before the game tonight that he really wasn't thinking about the record, but how can you help not thinking about a record like that?
Did you believe him?
No.
Neither did I.
8-point lead for Atlanta. 7:09 to go. Only 3 seconds left in the shot clock, the key in this possession. They're going to have to get something off quickly here. And they do, but it's blocked by Kemp. Blaylock got it back. Kemp gets the rebound. Off to Nate McMillan. Ricky Pierce trying to move around Rasmussen. He had a better shot from the baseline jumper, but he decided to try to find a closer shot. Found one, but didn't make it. Now there's Sean Kemp with a steal. What a night he is having. Kemp with 25 points, 11 rebounds.
Mookie's looking at the official and saying, that's not a travel. You can't do that.
The three-pointer by Derek McKee is hitting from a 39% clip at that range. He has 9 on the night now at 77-72, and Atlanta's going to call a timeout to talk about it here with 6:29 remaining.
Let's take a look at this. But watch now. Derek McKee is going to have the ball, and then he steps and walks, or Nate McMillan, and he steps and walks, and Mookie goes, come on, call that. can't walk like that. Give me a break.
It's the right beer now. Grab it while you can.
Have a right beer now.
Good first quarter for Chris Morris, 4 for 4. Mo, remember, in that game at the Meadowlands was 14 of 25. Not a bad first quarter for Avery Johnson.
Avery also perfect, 3 for 3 and for 6 points and 6 assists, which we had mentioned earlier.
Underway here in the second quarter.
$8.99 a gallon at Sears.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where Seattle has gotten as close as they've been in a while, down by 5 now with 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Stacey Augman checks back in for Atlanta, replacing Snoop Graham. Blaylock. Back over Dominique Wilkins, trying one. 3-point range, drills it. And that gives Dominique 22 points. He's 8 away from becoming the Hawks' all-time franchise scorer. And it gets the Hawks' lead back up to 8. Four seconds left in the shot clock, and Seattle is going to get the ball back, but the 24-second clock buzzes at the same time that the regular clock stops.
See, and Neek was able to get that 3 because normally the guy guarding Neek is really up in his chest. But what happened on the pick and roll was that Nate McMillan ended up guarding Kevin Willis inside, and Neek's man dropped off to help out. Mookie wisely brought the ball over to Neek for the 3.
Another unpopular call for Bob Weiss, the Hawks coach, complaining about that. They gave Seattle a fresh 24 on the clock, and now they're going to give Sean Kemp some free throws. As Derek Stafford is not letting anybody get away with much underneath. Rasmussen called for his 4th. And at the line will be Sean Kemp, a team over the limit now. So take a look at our GMC Truck NBA scoreboard tonight. San Antonio on top of New Jersey. Remarkable turnaround by that team.
Well, Atlanta's bench tonight has put 19 points on the board, and Seattle's bench has put 16. Atlanta's bench really is one of the more underrated benches in the league. Pat Riley told you, Pete, I believe in New York, that he was really impressed with Atlanta's bench. And we have been all year.
27 points for Sean Kemp. He's just 4 away from a career high. Kevin Willis, the jumper off the back rim. 80-74. And now Seattle can get back to within 4. What do we mean about Derek McKee? You see how he handled the ball like a guard that time? He's 6'10". Move to the hoop, wouldn't go for him. Rebound pulled away. Kevin Willis. He's in double figures in rebounds now with 10. Needs one more point for his 33rd double-double of the year. Dominique operating inside off the glass, too strong. The put back by Willis, and he's got his 33rd double-double of the year. 11 points and 10 rebounds for Willis. Hawks up by 8 again. Under 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. And Kemp bowls over Rasmussen. An illegal defense call against Atlanta, the first of the game.
Now here's Dominique Wilkins inside. He's got some serious company. He's got somebody draped on his back. Here comes the double team. Look at him battling. That's called splitting the double team. Got a decent shot. Caused Willis's man to come over. Willis free to tip on the opposite side of the basket, where 70% of missed shots come off.
Eddie Johnson in for Michael Cage for Seattle. McMillan. And we got a kickball. Fresh 24 seconds on the clock for the Sonics. It'll be the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat on TNT Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Ron Thurman, Doug Collins will be along with that one.
Very tough matchup inside. Sean Kemp, Blair Rasmussen.
Here comes Wayne Farrell checking back into the Atlanta lineup. He gives Kevin Willis a breather. So Atlanta going with a small lineup out there now with Farrell, Augman, Blaylock, Wilkins. The big man out there is Blair Rasmussen. Ricky Pierce fought his way free for the jumper. He now has 13. And the lead back down to 6. So many weapons on the Seattle team. It's a very, very difficult team to blow out of your home arena. They're going to stick around with all the talent they have.
Well, there's no question. And Stacey Augmon, that last trip down, I don't think realized the reputation of Ricky Pierce. Ricky Pierce has got one of those hair trigger releases, and he doesn't need much space. All he needs is a little window, and bang, it's up, and he hits a high percentage. And you can't foul him. 92 at the free throw line.
This time, Augmon drew the foul. As Derek McKee got him, and Augmon at the free throw line. Augmon now at 9 points, his first game back after missing 5. He's been averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds a night for Atlanta, shooting 49% from the field, 71% from the free throw line. And the way the Hawks have played this up-tempo game, he should fit in perfectly with this newfound style that's been successful for Atlanta. That's the way he played at UNLV, of course.
Well, he's a delightful guy off the court, and I think, you know, if he's happy on the court, you got a double bubble there.
John Kemp operating inside.
Oh, that's just a tough assignment for Blair. He's not a vaunted low-post defensive player. They're going to have to give him some help, make Sean Kemp pass the ball back out. Unfortunately, anyone he passes it to is a dangerous scorer right now. Eddie Johnson on the floor, Nate McMillan on the floor, Ricky Pierce on the floor, Derek McKee.
Oh, I don't believe he made that! Plastic Man found a way to get it home!
He had nowhere to go with that ball. He had nowhere to go with it. And it paid off in 2 points.
Oh, Plastic Man!
That was not diagram, folks. The outside jumper, Sean Kemp, no. Farrell the rebound for Atlanta. And the Hawks can build that lead back up to 10, just over 3 minutes remaining. Dominique Wilkins going back to the free throw line. This is a shot you don't work on, Dick.
Well, only Plastic Man can find a way to get this up to the basket. He runs out of things to do. Buys some time, stretches out those long arms. He shot that right-handed. Look at this. That's with his right hand. A little bit of push with the left. Plastic Man gets it done, yes.
And Dominique trying to get it done here at the free throw line, trying to get something done that nobody has been able to accomplish since Bob Pettit hung him up 28 years ago.
Ed McCauley told me a great story about Bob Pettit. He said that there was this player by the name of Mel Hutchins that held him to 4 points, and he was averaging around 24 at that time. So McCauley said, I had to guard him the next night. He had 44.
Got him right back to that 24-point-a-game average, didn't it?
He had one of those computers in his head.
Hawks up by 10 again, 88-78. Ricky Pierce might be called for the offensive foul. There he is. That was pretty evident. His second personal.
Well, see, what you're seeing now is the other dimension of Plastic Man. He is a wonderful defender. Cut off the lane. Ricky Pierce, frustrated, said, get out of the way. Offensive foul. Plastic Man doing his thing.
Find out who can get a roll going. That time, he went for the center. The 5-man, Sam down low.
Sam couldn't come up with it.
This is his town. Everything's named after him. Bowie Boulevard, Bowie Shopping Center, you name it. I thought he was just big in Lexington and in Pennsylvania.
Here's Robinson, and Rick Mahorn will pick up the foul. The Spurs beginning to take control here in the second quarter. We'll get a timeout with 6:31 left in the half.
The Admirals...
46 to go in the third quarter, and the Dominique countdown continuing tonight. Dominique Wilkins, who needed 30 to catch Bob Pettit, and pass Bob Pettit, rather, to become the Hawks franchise all-time scoring leader, has whittled that number down to 6 points. 6 more points, and Dominique is #1 among all Hawks.
Well, we heard what kind of competitor Bob Pettit was. Ed McCauley said that, pretty smart guy, too. He said he always used to take Slater Martin and Charlie Shear to dinner. Why? Charlie Shear sets the picks for him. Slater Martin delivered the ball to him.
Your two best friends when you're a scorer are always those two. The man that feeds you the ball and the man that gives you the screen. Steve Henson, who had a good first half off the bench with 9 quick points. Checking in now for Atlanta. He's in the backcourt. Dominique Wilkins, Dwayne Farrell, Stacey Augmon, Blair Rasmussen. Also in there, Gary Payton's back in for Seattle, along with Kemp, McKee, Eddie Johnson, Ricky Pierce. Pierce tips it away to Kemp, and Seattle's going to have a chance for 2 here. Payton to Pierce. Pierce over Rasmussen. He hardly ever misses from that range.
No, that's
15 for Ricky Pierce.
It's an automatic for Ricky Pierce. Steve Henson had a nice first half, 9 points, 3 assists, no turnovers in 7 minutes.
88-80, Atlanta by 8, closing into the 2-minute mark of this third quarter. 10 left in the shot clock. Stacey Augmon taking the jumper over Johnson. Short. A rebound off the floor, McKee. Peyton, Kemp. Double dribble call against Sean Kemp. Seattle turning the ball over.
Well, he was so excited. He had Blair Rasmussen down there in low post and figured, hey, I could just do whatever I want with this guy. Blair, not a strong low post defender. He'll give you what he's got, though.
Oh,
great give and go.
He's within 4.
Steve Henson, wonderful pass.
26 points for Dominique Wilkins, just 4 away from becoming the Hawks' franchise all-time leading scorer and pacing the Hawks to a 10-point lead over Seattle, 90-80. Stacey Augmon gets a hand in. Down to Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins working at Eddie Johnson. They're going to have a foul call against Eddie Johnson, and he's going to get a chance for 2 more here. Third foul call against Johnson.
Oh, watch this give and go, Pete.
Smell it now.
That's beautiful. There's no question Dominique Wilkins is feeling it. The crowd is feeling it. Look around this arena. The Dominique signs, the black and red Dominique signs, they're waving them. This crowd can sense the excitement. The record may fall.
1 point closer is Dominique. He has 27 points tonight. He has 20,878 points in his career. Bob Pettit scored 20,880. The beat goes on for Dominique Wilkins. 28 points for Dominique. 2 more, and he's got the record. 92-80. Eddie Johnson inside, getting the basket, drawing the foul. Chance for a 3-point play for Eddie Johnson. Now has 10 tonight.
Well,
Johnson called for the foul.
Pete Van Wieren, you said it best when you said this Seattle team has weapons, weapons, weapons. There's a block. Right back to him. No problem. Eddie Johnson converts.
One of the few remaining players in the NBA, Eddie Johnson, who was originally drafted by the Kings, the Kansas City Kings. Completing his 3-point play, now has 11. 92-83. Under a minute to go now in the third. Good ball movement, but Farrell lost the handle at the end.
Well, that's too bad because Blair Rasmussen had a wide-open layup if Farrell could have delivered the ball.
Eddie Johnson tries one from 3-point land. Dominique Wilkins pulls away the rebound. Farrell will bring it down. Stops and fires from right of the circle. Dwayne Farrell has 15 tonight. And the Hawks have built that lead back up to 11. They led by 10 at halftime. So they are outscoring Seattle again in this third quarter. They outscored them 31-30 in the first quarter, 38-29 in the second quarter.
How about this matchup? Steve Henson on Sean Kemp. Now, that's a smarter move. Get back and guard
Sean Kemp, though, did. He passed the ball away. Patio's checked into the game. Pass underneath to Askew, and a foul is going to be called under there. Rasmussen can't believe it.
Well, the ball goes inside. Dwayne Farrell thought that he had all leather on that. He can't believe it. Blair Rasmussen can't believe it.
It's only Farrell's second. But it does put Vincent Askew at the free throw line.
He believes it.
That's a free throw line for Askew. Mookie Blaylock checking back in. And here comes Nate McMillan back into the Supersonics lineup. Just under 7 seconds is all the time that's left. How about a buzzer beater by Dominique for the record to end this third quarter? Wouldn't that get this crowd going?
Well, it's your call.
Askew missed them both. Dominique may have that in mind. Nope, he passed it off to Mookie Blaylock, over to Henson, back to Mookie. Mookie's going to try a three, got rid of it. It was good if it went, but it didn't go. And the horn sounds ending the third quarter. And the Hawks continue to extend their lead. After three, it's Atlanta 94 and Seattle 83.
Didn't see much of a hit there, did we?
No, no. A good chance to get a deuce for Derek, too.
Morris.
And double team, able to defuse.
Chris Morris with 10 now, and the Nets down 9 again, 47-38.
This team is better because of one reason, organization.
Del Negro, two-shot foul. He's over the limit, hurting the Nets.
Looking for a basket at this end, call a couple of different things. Whistle stops it. Another reset for Morris down low. Del Negro is showing some blow-by speed, too.
It's the last year the Spurs will be playing in this building. It's a beautiful building. They sell it out every night. Down the road, just about a couple of blocks, matter of fact, they're building the Alamo Bowl.
Incidentally, did you get to the Alamo today?
No, I missed it today. I usually...
Any of your ancestors? All that building is.
And it took how many Mexicans to attack?
I don't know. I'll say 5,000, but I'm probably wrong. 30,000? Imagine looking out and spotting
Santa Ana. And the boys really went at it. The Nets down now by 11, 49-38. Nice move by Anderson. Try to find Bowie, and Sam puts it home.
Kenny's having... And then that time able to come up with a dish. Nice play by Draz.
Petro, nobody coming after him.
A good denial on the wing. And an errant pass.
Now on sale at Sears. Regularly priced at $11.99. Dutch Boys.
6 points for Petrovic. And the Nets down 7 now.
One after the first quarter, by 10 at the half, and by 11 after the third quarter. Dominique Wilkins needs just 2 more points to become the Hawks franchise all-time leading scorer. Right now, he's going to get a rest, as this fourth quarter will begin with Rasmussen, Willis, Augman, Farrell, and Henson on the court for Atlanta. Benjamin Johnson, Patio, Askew, and Gary Payton for Seattle.
Pete, look for Seattle to really extend their defense, and with Steve Henson in there and Mookie Blaylock on the bench, they may feel that they could force the ball to be handled by Dwayne Farrell or Stacey Augman. And it's this Seattle press that causes a lot of problems for teams in the fourth quarter.
They have been an excellent fourth quarter team. What is it, 29 out of 41 games? They've either matched or outscored their opponent in the fourth. 2-point basket. He was on the line, but Dwayne Farrell gets the Hawks rolling here in the fourth. He's having a good night, 17 points.
Well, since Bobby Weiss has put him in the starting lineup, he's really responded, and it's given the Hawks a lot more perimeter shooting.
Gerald Patio coming up short.
Look at that effort by Henson.
But Seattle still recovers. Rasmussen had it. Rolled off his fingertips. And a whistle against Seattle. Loose ball foul. Eddie Johnson called for his fourth.
All right, Dwayne Farrell had the ball knocked away. Looks like it's anybody's ball. But look at Steve Henson diving there. To no avail. Seattle recovered.
Hawks up by 13. Augman inside. Rebound pulled away by Benoit Benjamin. Sets the pick for Eddie Johnson. Henson stays right with him, though. Now Benoit Benjamin will take and hit the jumper. Benjamin now with 7. Back to an 11-point Atlanta lead, 96-85. 10:44 to go in the game. Hawks trying to win their third straight. They haven't done that since way back early in January. Reeled off 3 in a row. Almost stolen by Seattle. Stacey.
Oh, Stacey, plastic man, no.
And Benoit Benjamin will be called for his third. And Derek
Well, his whole
McGee
thing
checks
was
back in.
started by Steve Henson. He made that penetrating move, finally got the ball back on the baseline, didn't take the shot, looked for Stacey. Stacy put the plastic man move up there. Just couldn't quite finish it. Only missed it on his own, and then a little smile. I should have made that one.
Stacy having a good first night back. A lot of time to see a player come back after missing 5 straight games, and they'll be a little rusty. Stacy has picked up 13 points tonight. Blair Rasmussen gets his 4th.
Well, that's a big basket. Anytime you get that extra one on the free throw line, that's beautiful. Steve Henson with a steal. 3-on-1.
3-on-1 break. Henson feeding Stacy.
George Karl, timeout. Got to talk about this. Plastic man's doing it to me.
Biggest lead of the night for Atlanta. 10-14 remaining. Hawks up by 16.
Great steal, Steve Henson. Dwayne Farrell kicks it back out. Steve Henson chugging up the court. Got choices. How about Plastic Man? Sweet finish.
She has only 1 field goal in this first half, and we hit the 2-minute mark.
Nice job by Drozdon. Oh, did he lose Ellis?
And he doesn't miss that shot.
Did he work?
10 points for Droz. And he's had 3 quick field goals here down the stretch to narrow the deficit to 4. Robinson looking to work on Dudley.
Good job again.
Yeah, forced him away.
Yeah, just what we were talking about earlier. Droz looks like he is ready to light up the scoring machine. Bada bing.
50-46, Nets are down 4. Anderson spinning. Remains a 4-point lead for the Spurs. Good outlet to Ellis by Robinson. It's a 6-point ball game.
Well, Droz got back and got pretty good shape, but didn't take away the next little move.
52-46. The Spurs by 6. We have 1 minute remaining in the first half.
Good to see Willie Anderson back, too. Good player.
Has not played since last April. Operations on both feet. Prophylactic rods put in both legs. Here's Petro forcing one up. Wanted a call, didn't get it. Dudley on the follow. Coleman on the follow. And it's finally pulled down by Elliott. Leads to Ellis. Oh, puts it home.
At 11 Eastern.
Proving that numbers sometimes do lie. Here is tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. You would think Seattle had a pretty good handle on this one. You look at those numbers, inside points, front court points. Seattle a big edge in both, but Atlanta enjoying a 101-85 lead. Seattle coming into this game giving up just an average of 101 points a night. You see all the time left. Atlanta's already hit that number. Nobody has scored more than 119 against Seattle all year. Dominique Wilkins just 2 points away from becoming the Hawks' all-time leading scorer. Still resting as play resumes here.
Well, you know, here's a good bit of news for the Atlanta Hawks. Charlotte, who usually has a lot of trouble at home holding on to fourth quarter leads, had no such trouble with Seattle last night.
Willis swings it around to Henson. Inside, Blair Rasmussen on his way up through the foul. McKee picks up his 4th. And among the Western Conference teams, you see where Seattle ranks number 2 for allowing the fewest points. They're number 4 overall in the NBA.
But what's interesting about that particular stat, Seattle allowing 101.7 points per game, that's the lowest point total allowed in the history of the Seattle franchise. And remember, the Seattle franchise has an NBA championship.
5 on the night for Rasmussen now. Hawks up by 17. Hawks have a couple of things to shoot for in this fourth quarter. Dominique's record, of course, and also the Hawks closing in on scoring more points than anybody has against Seattle all year. No one has hit more than 119 against the Sonics this year. Hawks need only 17 more. And there's Dominique just waiting for the moment now.
He's not thinking about it.
Want to bet? John Kemp back outside McKee. Payton swings it around Eddie Johnson. There's that quick release jumper by EJ. And he has his 13th point. 102-87. Burrell trying a fancy Dan pass right into the arms of Sean Kemp. Length of the court, Gary Payton. Payton blew the layup. Henson, the rebound for Atlanta. Blair Rasmussen trying to get it inside to Kevin Willis. Batted away by Benoit Benjamin. Still 18 in the shot clock. Boy, you don't see this very often.
Well, Gary Payton's had back spasms, and we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but that's an NBA layup. Should be made.
Steve Henson from outside. Came up empty on that one. Loose ball foul is going to be called on Blair Rasmussen. That is his 5th. First foul against the Hawks, and here comes Dominique. And this crowd's really going to get into it now. 2 more points, and Dominique Wilkins passes Bob Pettit as the all-time Hawks franchise scorer. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Atlanta. Right now, Dominique Wilkins has 20,879 points. Bob Pettit had 20,880. Pettit, one of the NBA's all-time greats. Almost stolen by Dominique. It would have been an incredible way to get it, wouldn't it have? Derek McKee instead hits a 3, his 12th point.
We had about 14,000 people just catch their breath on that one.
They were ready to rumble.
A huge collective sigh.
Henson with Kevin Willis setting the pick for him. Swings it over to Dominique Wilkins. It could be here. Nope, not this time. Willis the rebound. Going up for the putback. Got hammered. Sandwich between Sean Kemp and Derek McKee.
Well, Pete, you and I are witnessing a resurgent Atlanta Hawk team starting to rebound and run and play in a very athletic style, showing the depth of their bench, willingness to pass the ball, unselfishness. Their assists are up. But another factor that's, I think, very important in their success is their ability to hit the free throw. As we watch Kevin Willis shoot that free throw, that's the 24th free throw attempt in the since they made only 1 in the first quarter. They were one for 1 in the first quarter, and since then they're 22 out of 24.
And over the last 4 games, shooting at an 89% clip now from the free throw line. 13 points for Kevin Willis. Hawks up by 14, a little over 8 minutes to go. All the way across it comes to McKee, trying another 3. Nope, the putback though by Benoit Benjamin gives him 9 and cuts the lead back to 12. Will this be the trip down the court where Dominique makes history? Dominique Wilkins into the paint, jump shot. He's not going to get it this time either. He's had 2 cracks at it and has missed them both. Sean Kemp wants a piece of somebody. He was held back in stages there. Dominique trying to settle him down. Who was he going after, Rasmussen?
Well, you know, it's hard to tell because...
Well, Rasmussen's called for his 6th foul, so it must have been him he was chasing.
It didn't look like Sean Kemp was really that angry. There's the shot by Dominique. There's the battle inside. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, Blair just kind of reached in there. It looked like he bit his tongue, and that hurt.
But he takes off. First, Kevin Willis detains him. Derek McKee then stops him a little.
But is he really after someone there? You know, sometimes how you get hurt, you know, and you just want to kind of be off by yourself to deal with the pain.
So Rasmussen's out of the game. He's fouled out. Jump shot, Nate McMillan from 15. No, Kevin Willis the rebound. Adam Keefe has replaced Rasmussen. 13 boards now for Kevin Willis. 104-92, 7.5 minutes to go. Hawks up by 12. Trying to go a game over 500 tonight. Turnaround shot. Kevin Willis goes.
Everything's working. The jump hook is working.
He has 15.
When Kevin Willis has that jump hook working, the Atlanta Hawks have the whole package. They have the inside scoring game. They have the brilliant scoring. There's the jump hook. They have the brilliant scoring of Dominique Wilkins. They have the athleticism of Mookie Blaylock and Stacey Augmon. They have a deep bench with the perimeter shooting of Snoop Graham, Dwayne Farrell, and Blair Rasmussen.
And notice the Hawks have not even played Travis Mays tonight, who had one of his better games against Philadelphia.
Well,
he's been out of the rotation tonight.
He's had a couple of good games. He's out of that rotation because Plastic Man is back.
And a technical foul has been assessed on Benoit Benjamin. Along with the offensive foul, his 5th personal, and a T added to that. Jess Kersey has been around this league for a long time. Well, Dominique can tie the record here. This will tie it if he makes it. He and Bob Pettit now share some pretty exclusive company. They each have 20,880 career points. The next one will break the record. 29 points for Dominique Wilkins, 107-92. 15-point lead for the Hawks. 7 minutes remaining. Dominique to Kevin. Derek McKee does not want to be the one burned by Dominique. It's the best defense he's played tonight. Mookie Blaylock hits the three.
Send me your code.
He's got 16. 110-92. Kemp underneath. He has matched his season and career high. 31 points tonight for Sean Kemp. Hawks by 16, 110-94. Look at McKee sticking like glue to Dominique Wilkins. 3 pumps off the glass. He's got it. Dominique Wilkins is the all-time Hawks franchise career scoring leader. The next dead ball, there will be a presentation made here at the Omni to Dominique Wilkins. 112-96. The fans are still on their feet. Dominique got fouled and now can appreciate the roar of this crowd as he has made Hawks history.
With that basket, Dominique Wilkins has become the Hawks franchise all-time leading scorer, breaking a record that was previously held by Hall of Fame forward Bob Pettit of the St. Louis Hawks. Dominique's total of
Hawks President Stan Kasten to make a special presentation to Dominique Wilkins.
And a tremendous accomplishment as Hawks President Stan Kasten.
And here is the play that put Dominique Wilkins ahead of one of the NBA's all-time greats, Bob Pettit. A legend in the NBA for the last 28 years. Right there, Dominique Wilkins passes Bob Pettit. And now we'll take one more thank you from this crowd here at the Omni. What an emotional moment for Dominique. And he's going to get to keep the basketball, too. Derek Stafford presenting him with the one that had been in use.
Well, it's always a great moment when you get to share a special time like this with a great player like Dominique Wilkins. But for the Seattle Supersonics, they want to get back to the business at hand. They don't like to lose. They're very proud of their record, 28-13 coming into this game. 5 minutes and 49 seconds. They want to get down to business.
And now that the record's over with, you know that Dominique would like nothing better than for these Atlanta Hawks just to widen that lead. What's the conversation going on here? I think Jess Kersey over to talk with Carl. I think that last foul was called on Derek McKee, his 6th, and he was still out on the court when Dominique took the first free throw.
Well, if you're ever going to get away with it, this is the time.
With all the hoopla going on?
Right. The focus is not on who's fouling what and how many fouls and who's on the floor.
Well, now Derek has sat down and Ricky Pierce is out there. So, and it was Dominique had to point that out to the officials. So he's doing a little bit of everything tonight, breaking records and helping operate the game down the stretch. 113-97. Eddie Johnson for 2 more. He's got 15.
Well, you got to watch out. The Seattle weapons, they're all there.
And they are a very explosive team.
Most of them are on the court right now in the form of Ricky Pierce.
Dominique now has 34.
Eddie Johnson out there, Nate McMillan, Benoit Benjamin.
And the Hawks up now 115-97.
And the irrepressible Mr. Sean Kemp.
Ricky Pierce got free from his man, hits the open jumper. Pierce now has 17.
Here comes a half-court trap.
Closing in on the 5-minute mark in the game. Hogman all the way across to Kevin Willis. Back outside Mookie. Stacey Hogman with 4 left on the shot clock. Kevin Willis, I don't think knew that pass was coming, but he was able to control it, and a fresh 24 on the clock as it came off the rim. So the Hawks are going to be able to eat up about a full minute here if they use up a good portion of this shot clock.
Well, look at this ball moving. And look at the, I call, Bruce Alexander called 3 seconds, and maybe that's a good call, but what I'm seeing out here is some very unselfish play. Kevin Willis passed up 3 shots that, Pete, you and I know that in games past, he would have fired that rock. He's into the score of the game, the time of the game, the situation, and he wants to get the win. It's a very, very good sign for the Atlanta Hawks.
Beginning to mesh a little bit. 115-101. Hawks trying to go a game over 500 tonight and trying to beat one of the very better teams in the NBA this year. Sean Kemp's got to be called for traveling there.
Well, he was cupping, wheeling,
he was
dealing.
dancing.
He was double burying. He was doing it all, and he traveled.
And being passed out to the crowd now, all of these little cards that say, I was there when Dominique became the Hawks' all-time leading scorer.
And you get another look at Mr. Sean Kemp doing his dance.
Turnovers even at 19. 4 minutes remaining in the game. 115-101. Kevin Willis going to work on Kemp. Back outside Stacey, trying to get it underneath Adam Keefe, stolen away. Vincent Askew getting it down to Ricky Pierce, open from 15. And he has 19 points now. Seattle beginning to chip away again at the Atlanta lead. They've got it down to 12, and there's still plenty of time left. 3:38. And the Hawks going to take a timeout here. Still leading at 115-103.
Introducing...
Start of the second right now with the Spurs leading.
They are all at the top of our list, which is why we're at the top of this list.
The ball game here, so you can catch the Hawks the rest of this week. Tomorrow night, they'll be down in Miami to take on Kevin Lockery's Miami Heat, 7:30 on Sports South. Art Ekman, Mike Glenn will have that one for you. Then we're back here on Saturday night at the Omni. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who the Hawks owe something to. They've lost 8 straight times to Cleveland. They'll try to do something about that losing streak Saturday night, 7:35. Dick and I'll be along for that one here on TBS. Wayne Farrell in there, along with Wilkins, Keys, Blaylock, and Willis. As play resumes here, Farrell's had a good night tonight. The pump fake, the jumper wouldn't go. Rebound off the floor. Eddie Johnson has it. Seattle can chip that lead down to 10 points now. Eddie can get it down to 9 if that one goes, but it wouldn't for Eddie Johnson. Kevin Willis the rebound.
Really like to see the Hawks use some clock now. Get the game down into the 2s. They brought Dwayne Farrell off the bench. Stacey Augman's back on the bench. They have Adam Keefe, Dominique Wilkins, and Kevin Willis to round out the lineup with Mookie Blaylock at the point.
Dominique firing one up from 3-point territory. That wouldn't go. Sean Kemp pulls away a rebound. Ricky Pierce, Adam Keefe got a hand on that ball, but Eddie Johnson still controls, works his way inside off the glass for 2. And 16, make it 17 points now for Eddie Johnson. 115-105. Atlanta's lead down to 10.
I think the Hawks have to be very careful here because some very foolish things are going on right now. There's too much early celebration, not necessarily on the countenances, but by the way they're playing. Too casual.
And the Hawks got a real break there. A loose ball recovered by Sean Kemp. He had a foot on the line. So Atlanta's going to get it back. With 16 seconds on the shot clock, here comes Stacey Augman back in for Adam Keefe.
And that's a good move. Now you got more ball handling in there. You can get better defense. You got more quickness.
Stacey with a trap, and it almost worked for Seattle. Mookie Blaylock has that one stolen away by Nate McMillan. Stolen right back by the quick hands of Mookie Blaylock. Underneath, Dominique lost it up down there. Got it back off the glass. No, the tip, no. Rebound out near midcourt. Mookie trying for it. Boy, he's quick with his hands.
Mookie Blaylock's all over the place. Really making things happen. Trying to preserve the victory.
2:10 remaining. Mookie blocked from behind by Eddie Johnson. Fires it down court, trying to get to Ricky Pierce. Pierce tried to tip it to Kemp, out of bounds off the Hawks. And Seattle gets it back with 2:03 to go. 115-105. Atlanta leads it. And Seattle's going to call a timeout here. with 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining, and the Hawks up by 10.
At the second half, Sam Bowie on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
Nets have done a nice job having Robinson away from the basket.
5 on the 24. Coleman puts it up. We got a foul. And Chuck Daly wanted that one.
Oh, good strong move by Derek as he takes his guy, and Chuck's been a little concerned about some of the non-calls, and this is a guy who's made shots that you can see the banging.
And he thought that time there might be a non-call again, but there was not. And Coleman will go to the line to shoot 2.
Creep back in. That's the key. Stop their pursuit. You know, offensively, know what they're running. Get over the top of screens. Draws and Mo, in particular, playing Ellis.
Presenting. 14 points for Coleman, and the Nets have cut it to 6. We're just underway here in the 3rd quarter. This is Dale Ellis. Antoine Carr posting up against Coleman. And Antoine Carr.
Tough delivery.
That's his 3rd basket.
Feeding with new kids.
56-48, a minute into the 3rd quarter.
Now, once you relax, guys will post up and jam you in there. Derek's got to bang him out a little further.
Anderson uses the glass and gets the roll. The big guy came.
His teammates on the night that he becomes the leading scorer in Hawks history, but no, he can't get it down. Great second effort. Loose ball. There he is, that man, Mookie Blaylock. All right, settle down, guys. All right. Now, wait a minute. He's being trapped. Good job, Mookie Blaylock.
And back to live action right at the 2-minute mark. Now, you talk about the evenness of this game at times. Both teams are 41 for 79 from the field. Hawks really winning this game at the free throw line. They've hit 28 of 34. Seattle 19 of 25. Turnovers are about even. Rebounds are about even. Everything about this game is even except the free throws. And the score right now, 115-105, Atlanta. Almost stolen by Willis. Sean Kemp muscling his way in. Had to alter his shot. Willis pulls away the rebound. And now, the Hawks up 115-105 with a minute 40 to go. Trying to use up some time.
They should be in a 2-1-2 set now against the traps. Eat up some clock.
7 left in the shot clock. Mookie Blaylock finds an open path to the basket. Nice move, Mookie Blaylock. 18 points for Blaylock again tonight. 117-105 Atlanta. A minute 21 remaining. Ricky Pierce works on Stacey Augmon. Nowhere's near. He was looking for a foul. Didn't get the call. Jess Percy indicating that the shot was partially blocked, and now Ricky Pierce will commit a foul out of midcourt just to try to stop the clock.
Well, you know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Mookie Blaylock for Ramil Robinson trade looms larger and larger and larger in the interesting history of this Atlanta Hawk franchise. He seems to get better. He has greater court awareness, court presence, and great leadership. Mookie Blaylock tonight, 18 points, 11 assists. Not to mention some very heads-up floor play, scrappiness, taking charges, chasing down loose balls.
Dominique Wilkins getting the rest of the night off, and on this historic night in his career, he gets another standing ovation from this Omni crowd, many of whom are filing out now, thinking that the Hawks have this one well in hand. Coming up right after the Hawks game tonight, Coogan's Bluff, Clint Eastwood starring as a small-town sheriff sent to New York City to find a murderer. That's next on TBS. Sean Kemp drawing the foul. You don't want to do that. You don't want to stop the clock now. Dwayne Farrell called for it.
First in the last 2 minutes, Sean Kemp will shoot 2.
Dwayne Farrell's done some very, very good things for the Atlanta Hawks since he's become a starter. Tonight he had a couple of occasions where he tried that little French pastry pass at an inopportune time. Did not really have his head in the game on the finish. You know, they talk about taking games out. Take them out so that you don't get surprised down the stretch. So you celebrate your victory when you really, truly have it.
John Kemp now with a career-high 33 points. 118, 107. 15 rebounds tonight for Kemp as well.
Bobby Weiss has 4 guards and Kevin Willis in there. He's got all kinds of ball handling. Seattle's conceding this. They're going to let him take it out.
And Mookie Blaylock, no. Hoffman went up for the tip, no. Rebound comes off the floor loose. Tipped and stolen right back by Mookie. He never quits.
He's a wonderful player.
This one is in the bag, 118, 107. Atlanta's going to win its 3rd straight. Up its record to 22 and 21. 3 impressive victories back-to-back. And tomorrow night they'll try to extend it to 4 when they travel down to Miami to take on the Heat. In the game's closing seconds on what's been an historic night for Dominique Wilkins. And we're going to have a visit with Dominique Wilkins coming up right after the game before we go to our movie, so stick around. The Atlanta Hawks have now won their 3rd game in a row. 118-109 the final score. Dominique Wilkins, now the all-time leading scorer in Hawks franchise history. We'll be back to visit with Dominique right after this.
Good job, Kevin.
Oh, man, again, let's get good.